Welcome back to This is VANCOLOUR. Now, I cannot stand when people use the word woke as some sort of nebulous pejorative that just means something I don't like, especially when a lot of these woke things are just trying to point out or address unfairness. Let me explain, and let's take a moment. I want you to think about emergency room triage. A patient walks in with a minor cut that requires stitches. 10 minutes later, another patient arrives needing resuscitation since their heart has stopped. If there's only enough ER staff to address one of these patients, they will focus on the person whose heart has stopped first since it's more urgent. Now, that's not equality. The patient needing resuscitation is receiving preferential treatment, but we understand that it's fair given the context. That's equity. And yet some of the loudest, most obnoxious reactionary voices will reject equity in favor of equality under the law. But we know that equality, or even law, isn't enough. We have law mandating accessible public spaces, and yet in the city of Vancouver, with public sidewalks that everyone can use equally, there are over 3,000 sidewalks without the necessary curb cuts to make those sidewalks accessible for people with mobility issues. Pay discrimination is illegal in BC, yet BC women earn 83 cents for every dollar a BC man earns, 55 cents in agriculture, forestry, fishing, and hunting. In fact, in crop production, men's paychecks have grown since 2020, but women's paychecks haven't. Numerous studies have shown that Canadian companies engage in hiring practices where job applicants with names that signaled a non-white race are less likely to get a call back than applicants with names that signaled white ethnicity, qualifications being equal. Healthcare is universal, but we know that our healthcare system treats both Indigenous healthcare workers and Indigenous patients with discrimination. Police enforce the law, but the Supreme Court of Canada ruled, based on overwhelming evidence, that police in this country systemically treat white Canadians more favorably than non-white Canadians, which the RCMP admitted is true. There's a growing movement that wants Canadians to ignore these realities under the misleading guise of common sense. They will blame the erosion of your standard of living on woke, ideological identity politics, scapegoating those who dare to point out these unfair realities. Why do they do this? Because they have no real solutions to your problems, and more importantly, they don't care. Folks, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you to Annie Ohana and Wade Grant for their time tonight. If you have any thoughts about my commentary or anything that Annie or Wade discussed tonight, shoot me an email, mo@thisisvancolour.com. Also, please give me a follow on X or TikTok @VANCOLOUR. I always love hearing from you. Next week is our season finale. We got a duo of powerful BC ladies to close us out, so please be sure to tune in. For now, though, this is VANCOLOUR, and I'm Mo Amir, telling you that in a province where you can be anything, be colorful. Peace.